shall introduce you all then. So welcome to our first WoW podcast. I have the delightful Kai Schober here, our community manager, Nate Levy, lead designer, and the wonderful Welsh archer, the wonderful Will Austin, our artist on WoW, and I'm Rowland Cox, the community director. So, Will, tell me about what you're very excited about on WoW that's coming out, perhaps, within days of us recording this podcast.
Well, it's just we're going to be putting out a lot of really interesting heroes. One of my favorite ones is going to be coming very soon. Don't want to say too much.
I'll say it for you then. His name is Malice.
Yes, that would be one of them. Yes. Just a small one, just a skosh. Malice Darkblade. I don't know if many people have heard about him. He's
a total badass.
Somewhat underknown, I would say, in the Warhammer industry. But yes, he is just a total badass. Big, his demonic sword running around, slashing people up. He's going to be causing mayhem all over the scenario.
It's one of the things about Warhammer. All the villains have all agreed that spikes are for the win. Mm-hmm. Like, you can always tell a Warhammer villain a mile off. They are covered in spikes. Dark elves, orcs, chaos, spikes. They all love spikes.
It's all about the trust fall. I mean,
it is.
You drop your weapon, you just hug them and fall.
Onto their spikes.
Onto their spikes.
Yeah. So, Nate, do you want to talk a little bit about the idea behind legendary heroes?
Well, legendary heroes in general are the big named, iconic champions of the Warhammer lore that everybody's familiar with. You know them by name, you know who they are, and we're bringing them out to the battlefield.
My understanding is we are not going to allow people to buy them with gems. Is that right?
That's correct. You can't just shortcut your way with gems. You've got to earn the gold and get them the hard way.
Have we made it worthwhile?
Absolutely. They're going to be a blast to play. Above and beyond the fact that you're playing as Malice Darkblade, which is awesome to begin with. He's just a badass hero when you play him on the battlefield.
He looks great in game. He has some amazing abilities. Do you want to talk a little bit about how as a game designer you turned it up to 11 for that hero?
Well, as everyone who knows Malice knows, his whole story is basically he's possessed by a demon. In his case, he's possessed by a demon over and over and over, but he's possessed by a demon that tears out of him and makes him go crazy on the battlefield and tear everything up. So we brought that to life by making him have a chance to have the demon become unleashed every time you hit him. So you really have to take him down before he tears through your forces, but every time you hit him, you make it just as likely the demon pops out, heals him up, empowers him, and makes him even stronger.
He is now resplendent and finished and looking quite amazing. Okay, so we did a little poll on Facebook, didn't we, Kai?
We did indeed, yeah. We had, we were limited to 10 heroes. Well, we got some very good feedback and have a nice challenge now for our developers with especially one clear winner, Grumlock and Gasbeck and Chazanek. But yeah, Malus came in third, so he'll be out first.
So there really is an awful lot of heroes coming out at the moment. We've just had Coralie come out, a favourite from beta, and she was completely redesigned from her beta iteration. And we're not stopping there. Heroes have been coming out very quickly recently, and we intend to keep doing that, don't we? We're calling it the Summer of Heroes. That's absolutely PR marketing speak there.
Yeah, mm-hmm. One thing we heard loud and clear right off the bat was people wanted more heroes and a bigger stable to pick from. So we're going for it, and we're putting out as many as we can, as quickly as we can.
We have all developers chained to their desks.
That's just standard working practice around here, though.
They were kind enough to extend my chain so I can get into the to the podcast room. They still brought my computer. I'm still working right now, of course, because
he's got very soft keys, so you can't hear him tapping.
Very soft keys.
Let's take a moment to just to review the last 6 months almost since we've been in open beta. Thank you to our community of players who have helped us, not just by dying so we could data mine your telemetry, but also from all the feedback on Facebook, and also to our super fans who've helped us specifically. You've really helped shape the game and how it's developed. Nate, can you talk a little bit about the last few months worth of changes specifically to things like trophies and leaderboards and being able to compare yourself to your teammates and friends?
Well, we put in a couple things like the start of the trophy system, which the first iteration of that is in currently with a few trophies you can earn, and that's going to be greatly expanded in the future to add a whole lot more trophies and a whole lot more rewards. You can now view other people's profiles to see how their stats are with heroes and compare them against yourself. And you can look to see where you are on the leaderboards to see just how good you are against the entire world or just against your friends.
That's certainly how we play in the office. So, is there anything you want to tease about potential heroes that might be coming up?
Well, we're bringing back some more of the beta heroes, and we're also adding a bunch of new ones into the mix. Heroes like, we can say Albodi is coming out relatively soon.
Albodi.
Everybody loves him. 8 feet tall, full of armor, and kills everything.
Yes, he's had one hell of a makeover since beta. He's very terrifying.
Yep. Everybody that's coming back, we do multiple passes on him to get him really up to tip-top quality. So Albodi's going to come back, and he'll be glorious. He'll have some dwarf friends joining him soon after, and then after that we'll just have to wait and see.
So one of the interesting things about Coralie, to me, especially having been murdered by her yesterday in fact, was the direction you took that character. She used to be high armor, anti-armor spec, and now she's evolved into something quite different. Mm-hmm. Can you take us through that development process?
Sure. The way she was earlier on that she was seen in the beta, she was a little too good at everything. She could dodge attacks to get in close, and then once she got in close, she could tear through your armor, and so there really wasn't any good counter against her. Magic wasn't any more effective than physical. Armor didn't protect against her. She could catch up to you almost no matter what, and she was just too good against everyone with no real rock to her. So we took a look back at her and made some changes. We took away the armor penetrating because really, if you run up to someone who's wearing full head-to-toe plate mail and you poke at him with a dagger, it's not going to do a heck of a lot. Even if you're a witch elf and it's a really sharp dagger, they're still wearing armor.
Bax is very happy about that.
Bax is extremely happy. To make up for that a little bit and to balance her out and make her a little more interesting to play, we changed her so that you have to get in really close to her if you want to do full damage. So if you're playing a ranged class, that's fine. You're just not going to be at your full potential until you get in close, which is probably not going to be healthy for you for very long, but them's the breaks. And she's also a fun character to play in general because all of her abilities affect another ability, and you have to think several steps ahead when you're playing her, and there's a lot of interactivity, and it makes her very active and a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I suppose with Amanadresh we have that anti-armor character already.
Amanadresh and Olwyn are her best friends.
Yes, they certainly are. Until a certain Albodi turns up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the farm, I believe Kai would like to make a point about skins.
Yeah, one thing we recently kind of sneaked in was the quest reward for our new user journey, the third skin for Lucian.
Yep.
We're going to see more of these skins.
Yes, we're working on continued skins for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea who's next first? Up soon?
Nothing to say right now. Honestly, I'm hoping that when we get there, we'll be able to release a third skin for everybody all at once, since there is a tactical benefit.
Wow, that's a big promise, Nate, there. All at once.
I never said the word promise. You did. But since there's a tactical benefit to having
pledge.
A skin, it works out a little better if everyone gets them at the same time instead of us doing them piecemeal.
Okay, well, that sounds great. The Summer of Heroes, that thinking extends into fall, doesn't it, somewhat?
Yep. As the Summer of Heroes wraps up, we have big things coming up in the fall, probably somewhere around Halloween, where you might see a flurry of activity.
Exactly around Halloween.
That's close enough.
Close enough. Around the Hallow period.
Yeah, we're planning to do several things for Halloween. They're covering a range of shiny, and it'll be pretty awesome.
Okay, that's pretty vague. But that's the best kind of tease, is it could be anything you want. Just think of something you want, it could be that.
Except for that.
Except for that.
Red Duke.
Okay, let's wrap this up then. I'd like to thank everyone for turning out today. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Will. As you can hear, hopefully there's lots more to come and lots more for you guys to play. We'll see you on the battlefields. Thanks very much for listening. Bye.
Copyright 2012 Electronic Arts Inc. All rights reserved. The statements and opinions expressed in the BioWare Mythicast are those of its individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the policy or opinion of Electronic Arts Inc.